Hi everyone, Maggie here. Are you a homeowner wondering how you can leverage the value you've built in your home? Maybe you're thinking about a big renovation, consolidating debt, or covering education costs. Today we're diving into something called a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. It sounds complicated, but by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how it works and if it might be the right fit for you. First things first, let's talk about home equity. Simply put, equity is the difference between your home's current market value and the amount you still owe on your mortgage. For example, if your home is worth $300,000 and you owe 200,000 on your mortgage, you have a $100,000 in home equity. This equity is key to a HELOC. You might be thinking, are you allowed to borrow up to that $100,000? How much can you borrow? Lenders typically look at a few things. Loan to value ratio, LTV. Lenders usually allow you to borrow up to a certain percentage of your home's value, often around 80 to 85%, including your existing mortgage. For example, if your home is worth $400,000 and the lender's max LTV is 80%, 320,000, you owe 250,000 on your mortgage, your potential HELOC limit might be around $70,000. 320 minus the 250 is about $70,000. Your credit score and history is also important, so you need to have a good credit score. Your income and debt to income ratio, which is also called your DTI, is also important. Lenders want to see that you can comfortably afford the payments. So, what are some common uses for a HELOC? People use HELOCs for various reasons, such as home improvements, kitchen remodeling, roof repairs, debt consolidation, paying off higher interest debts like credit cards, education expenses, major expenses, or even investing into another home. There are no restriction sets on the use of the funds you get from a HELOC. There are many benefits to a HELOC. First is the flexibility of how much you can borrow or draw, or the flexibility of what you can use your funds for. Typically, the HELOC's interest rates are a lot lower than if you were to get a personal loans and if you were borrowing against a credit card. And then there is the possibility of tax deductibility depending on if you did home repairs. And there also the possibility of paying only the interest while you are in a draw period. Also, there are some risk associated with a HELOC, and it is very important to understand the risk. First of all, you have to understand that your home is being used as collateral. If you can't make your payments, you could risk losing your home. Some HELOCs offer variable rates at the beginning and then the rates goes up. There can also be fees associated with HELOCs. So you need to ask information as to what fees are associated, if there are. And then also there's that temptation to overspend. So you may have access to, let's say, $200,000 in equity. That doesn't mean you have to get that entire amount. So you want to be mindful not to overspend. So there are some questions you may want to ask your lender about your HELOC. For instance, you can ask, what is the current interest rate and how it's calculated? Is it variable or is it fixed? Another questions might be, what are all the fees involved with the cost of the HELOC? Some may charge appraisal, some may charge a closing fee, an origination fee. So you want to know what all the fees are. Um, you want to know what is your estimated payment. How much are you going to be making in payments every month? You also would want to ask if there are any prepayment penalty. Will you be penalized if you pay off the balance early? These are some of the questions that you could ask prior to completing your HELOC application. So that's a HELOC in a nutshell. It can be a fantastic financial tool for homeowners, offering flexibility and potentially lower interest rates. However, it is essential to understand how it works. And if you are considering a HELOC, please do your research, compare lenders, and consider talking to someone who you trust, who is qualified to direct you in the right direction. I have a great company where your HELOC application can be completed from start to finish entirely online, and it takes about 5 minutes. And afterwards, you're able to see if you are qualified, what the rates are, and funding can take place in as early as 5 days. If you need any additional questions, if you need to talk to me, please don't hesitate to call 813 337 7054.